Mocktails aren't just juice. Sorry, I didn't see you there. Aromatics are important. It can also be quite useful to know how to get that warm feeling in your throat without the alcohol. Texture, balance. Look, actually there are quite a few different ways to make mocktails tasty, including lots of ways that also work in cocktails. Who would have thought? Apparently a lot of people receive utter crap when they go to bars, so for that I'm truly sorry. What I'm going to do, I'm going to make a few mocktails and I'm going to tell you what I'm doing to make them extra special, and then you can go away and make really tasty mocktails of your own. Sound good? Cool. Let's go. Here's something for if you like gin or pesto. Add 10 to 12 basil leaves and give them a muddle. Don't be afraid about adding stem, and be very enthusiastic with your muddle. The clap's just to make my hands smell nice. With mocktails, I like to put something in instead of the base spirit. In this instance, we've gone for some concentrated chamomile tea. A mocktail hack is to use something that gives a little bit of spice to simulate the alcohol burn. For this drink, I'm adding a little bit of one of those ginger shots. I would normally use ginger juice, but I couldn't find any in my area. Next, we're going for some elderflower syrup to complement the garden feel of the drink. An easy way to get that complexity we're always harping on about is to add different flavours that complement each other. Personally, I do prefer fresh citrus juice over store-bought. If you often find mocktails to be too sweet or, God forbid, too sour, play around with the ratio of citrus to sugar. Shake it like it's insulted one of your houseplants, as we need to break up the basil a little bit. Glass from the freezer and clear ice if you're a bit extra, and double strain to avoid little bits of basil. And if there are any international viewers watching, you're the one saying basil wrong, okay? Okay, moving on. This cocktail I've milk-clarified, which is an easy way of making people think you know more about cocktails than you actually do. You're going to want to make a batch of this, say at least 3 drinks. What I've done on screen is give you the measurement for 1 drink, and then you can multiply it based on however many drinks you want, while noting there can be a slight variability in yield, so just make a little bit more. Because I didn't consider myself the man I am today before I had a smoky cocktail, I'm adding some smoke to this mocktail with the addition of some lapsang souchong tea. I know, it must be surprising to you that I like tea. Because I'm doing milk clarification, I'm going to have to break form and add tea to my milk. Yum, curdled milk. Psych, I'm going to use coffee filter paper to clarify the drink. If there are any cloudy bits in the first few drops, then just put them back through the filter. Filtration does take a few hours, so I like to put mine in the fridge and have something to look forward to the next day. Here's one I made earlier. A refreshing drink with the silky mouthfeel from the milk and a little bit of smokiness. Lovely. So you may think that I made a big batch of clarified cocktail because I want to show off, or I'm too into cocktails but not in a fun way. The truth is that now I'm the cocktail guy. When people come round for like dinner or drinks, they expect me to make them cocktails. And I don't want to be making loads of people cocktails while I look at them off in the distance having fun without me. But if I bring out the big batch of clarified cocktail, everyone's like, yay, the cocktail guys made us loads of fancy cocktail, which saves me time and allows me to have fun. Now, there are a few different ways of clarifying a cocktail, not all of them involving milk. However, as someone lactose intolerant, I do like to add milk to my mocktails just to simulate the next day regret I get from drinking regular cocktails. This one's just for me really. Ube, lots of coconut water, texture, a little snack on top, yes. As you might imagine, this drink is aggressively coconut watery, so do with that what you will. I love the coconut ube combo, but again, feel free to mix it up with the flavours that you enjoy. My favourite part of this drink is that the ube extract I used to make the syrup dyed my hands purple for a few days. Behind the bar, I noticed whenever I got the blowtorch out, people got really excited about it for some reason. Maybe there's a part of human psychology that just likes fire, and this is an important note when it comes to mocktails. I think at the end of the day, people just appreciate a little bit of effort, especially if you're making it for yourself. Go on, treat yourself to something nice. To be honest, this whole video is just an excuse for me to pour some tahini in a dish, go off camera and lick it. This is a non-alcoholic Beeragrita. Well, at least depending on the law where you are. Let me explain. I'm going to be adding some bitters to this drink, as well as some beer that's labelled as 0.5%. Using bitters in cocktails is like adding seasoning to your food. You do season your food, right? Now, most cocktail bitters are alcoholic, but if you only add a few dashes, it shouldn't raise the ABV of the entire drink by that much at all. We're talking non-alcoholic beer, ripe banana sort of territory. There are of course 0% beer and bitters available as well. Of course, do whatever's best for you, but at least in the UK, 0.5% counts as non-alcoholic. Ooh, would you look at that? It's Beeragrita time. Make sure you add your agave nectar first so that the other ingredients can wash out your jigger. We're going to add some orange bitters because a margarita has a little bit of orange flavour coming from the triple sec. Did I mention I like bitters and adding spice to my mocktails? I'm going to be adding some non-alcoholic agave, which I'll talk more about in a sec. You don't have to use clear ice, but do try to use enough ice because otherwise your drink will be too diluted, which is especially important to remember in mocktails. More ice means less dilution over the time it would normally take someone to drink a cocktail. The non-alcoholic Beeragrita is very much a crowd pleaser. Oh, and make sure all of you lick the tahini and make aggressive eye contact when you have this drink. Let's talk about non-alcoholic spirits. This could be a whole video in itself, but I think non-alcoholic spirits are great when used appropriately. Like with all ingredients, it's good to ask yourself why you're using it. For instance, I do enjoy how some of the Liar's range uses Szechuan peppercorn for that fake alcohol burn. In the same vein, this syrup from Faux is great when I want that bittersweet aperitivo goodness without the alcohol. Ooh, speaking of that bittersweet embrace, hopefully it's given you a few ideas that you can adapt with your own tastes in mind. This video has mainly focused on mocktails at home, but here are a few ideas on how to get the most out of non-alcoholic beverages at bars. At least where I am, most pubs and bars do carry Angostura bitters, which means I often find myself gravitating to a soda water with a few dashes of bitters in it. If you are behind the bar and want to recommend this to customers, it is best practice to remind them that there is a little bit of alcohol in there nonetheless. A lot of non-alcoholic beer is actually good now, which is a big treat, especially offerings from more independent breweries. I'm lucky enough that a lot of pubs I visit these days have at least one decent non-alcoholic beer offering. A lot of more quote-unquote craft cocktail bars will also have a decent mocktail offering these days as well, especially if they make their own ingredients. I'm sure they'll be more than happy to put their homemade shrub in a mocktail for you. Obviously this won't work in every bar, but as a bartender, I was always really excited when a customer came in and wanted a special mocktail made for them. So yeah, maybe use that as an excuse to pay your local craft cocktail bar a visit. Or if, like a lot of people, you don't have a local craft cocktail bar, hopefully this video has given you some ideas on how to make some tasty mocktails at home.